Coming right up, another fun Varsity Sports Show!
In 2019, the JV Sports Show podcast began with the idea of spotlighting young people in our community. In time, that podcast evolved into radio, television, and live stream, and through that evolution, new ideas have enhanced delivery, giving a stage to students both in front of and behind the microphone in Arizona and beyond. Thank you for supporting the Varsity Sports Show, now the Varsity Media Foundation, a 501c3 educational organization. The Varsity Sports Show is once again proud to partner with Grand Canyon University Club Sports in 2023 and 24. Join us in our coverage of GCU Club Sports on Saturday's Varsity Sports Show and the rest of the week. We'll cover hockey, soccer, baseball, rugby, lacrosse, and more. The Lopes are back on the Varsity Sports Show.
Hi, kids. This is DJ Soulman from the Funk Junkies, and you're listening to the Varsity Sports Show with my man Vince Delicio. And what's your last name?
It's Delicio.
Okay, that's right. That's what I thought. Yeah, right.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
This program is paid for by the Varsity Media Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit educational organization, and its partners.
You're listening to the Varsity Sports Show, home of Arizona's youth, high school, college sports, and you, empowering education and enabling dreams, right here on KDUS AM 1060 in Arizona. And now, welcome to the Varsity Sports Show.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona. Vince Delicio at a new location, and it's not so new. It's been around for years and years and years. And anybody that has driven from Phoenix to Tucson to Phoenix, and anywhere in between has passed this place and has amazed at the wonder of what it is. You've seen the big trucks rolling by. It's the Ostrich Farm, the Rooster Cogburn Ostrich Farm, and I'm joined today by a talented fellow broadcaster from the University of Arizona School of Journalism. She is also a Division I athlete, member of the University of Arizona Wildcat diving team. It's Brooke Early. Brooke, how are you?
I'm good. It's beautiful out.
It is. Well, it's beautiful in also. We're inside, and we're not getting beat down by the sun, which is a treat, and it's really special. And this is your second go-around at hosting the show live, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I'm excited.
You were really excited this week when we finalized the location for this week's event in the Ostrich Ranch, because you've wanted to come here for years, like since you were a little girl.
Yeah, I drive from Tucson to San Diego all the time, and I always see it. And this is finally the time we get to come.
It's fun. So we're here. We're going to get to meet some of these big, majestic, beautiful birds, hopefully here soon. And I can't tell you how excited I am. And we're also joined by Diana, who is with Rooster Cogburn. Diana, are you the owner of this place?
Actually, it's a 3-generation family business.
Okay.
My folks are here, me and my husband, and then we got 2 teenage boys, so all right here on the location here.
Yeah.
And we all work and play.
I got to be honest with you. You don't sound like you're from here.
Is it Jersey? A little bit of a southern twang in there.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Originally, we're from Oklahoma.
Okay, there you go. Well, you have it doesn't sound like you lost any of it, but 3 generations, wow. And okay, so I got to ask this question. So we're in the desert. So why ostriches?
Well, we were in the ostrich industry in Oklahoma.
Okay.
And the ostriches, there's 3 main products. There's the meat, the hide, and the feathers. And in South Africa, they've been raised commercially for like 200 years. So we were already in that industry. But then as we got bigger, we decided we either had to get in the right climate or we had to get out of ostriches. And ostriches like the hot, dry, arid climate. So Arizona was this is their natural environment.
How many ostriches actually reside here on the property?
We have about 2,000.
Wow. Do they all have names?
No, you never name anything you might eat.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. All right. And then you also have some other things going on here besides ostriches, which, hopefully we'll get a chance to meet. I can see them outside there. But what else is going on here?
Well, lots of different things. This is kind of a place, Grandma doesn't have the family farm anymore.
Yeah.
And so this is a place where kids and adults alike can come and interact with animals. Something about animals just brings such a compassion that we need in our society. And so this is a great place to come do that. But we have miniature donkeys. We have our rock star Smiley that smiles at you. We've got parakeets, which the little kids love those.
Yeah.
We've got fallow deer from England. We got boar goats from South Africa. We have where you crank food up to them on a conveyor belt, which is fun. It's a great place to race your friends, trying to get the food up the fastest.
Yeah.
The hole-in-the-wall gang, which we're going to make sure that she gets a goat kiss today.
Oh, wow. Brooke, you're going to get kissed by a goat.
Yeah.
Wow, you've kissed a few frogs in your time, haven't you?
Let's face it, girls, we've all kissed a goat or two in our lives. So.
Yeah. Wow.
But we have, of course, lots of ostriches. We have chickens. We have St. Croix sheep. I'll tell you a funny story on them.
Okay.
And miniature Nigerian dwarf goats. That's our Cabbage Patch Kids. We've got bunnies. We got ducks that eat right out of your hand.
Yeah.
And then one of the big favorites is the rainbow lorikeet forest. When you go in there, you have a cup of nectar, and these birds, they're from Australia. They fly to you, land all over you. They even take the lid off the cup themselves and drink the nectar right out of the cup. So that's super cool. And then the stingrays, because we are in Arizona, and that's our oceanfront property in Arizona right there.
That's interesting. But I got to tell you, I've been hearing this craze about goat yoga. Do they do that here?
Well, I haven't done goat yoga, but we did do ostrich yoga.
Ostrich yoga. Okay. Well, with goat yoga, I can't imagine somebody paying to sit there while goats walk all over you, particularly when, these things aren't, I don't know if they're house trained, but, I don't know. So, but goat yoga,
Well, when I was a kid growing up, the little deer pellets or goat pellets, my dad always told me those were smart pills.
Oh.
And if I'd eat those, I'd get smart. And I said, Dad, that's poop. And he said, see, it's already working.
I thought you were going to go in a different direction and say you actually tried some. But, okay, interesting. Okay, well, so there's a lot to see and do here at the Rooster Cogburn Ostrich Ranch. And it's open all day. I mean, from 9 a.m. until sundown?
Well, we're in our summer hours right now.
Okay.
So from May through September, we are open Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday from 8 to 2. We kind of do the Sioux hours because of the heat.
Yes, and it's easy to find. I mean, heck, you just got to look for Picacho Peak, and it's right there. And there's the exits are marked very clearly. You get out here and have a great time. You can literally spend hours wandering the place. Tell us about these big trucks that you have over here.
Well, that's for our Picacho Peak Monster Truck Tours. We have not resumed them since COVID yet.
Okay.
But they should be coming back hopefully in the next couple of months.
Okay.
It's just a lot of work to get those back up and going. And so hopefully they'll be on our website. We'll keep everybody updated on social media and our website.
So 2,000 ostriches. Now, there was a story in Arizona history of something that happened years and years ago. I don't know if you want to talk about it or not, but some ostriches got startled from passersby, and they ended up, it was tragic because a bunch of them ended up on the freeway. What happened?
Well, there was 2 hot air balloons that launched next door to us here. Anything looming overhead to an ostrich that is a predator.
Yeah.
And anyway, they launched next door and they hovered, and the birds started stampeding that were closest as they would run and stampede and hit the fence. And the next ones would hit the fence and then finally go through that fence and just continue gathering ostriches for about 2 miles.
Oh, boy.
And took out about 25,000 square foot of fence. Birds, we lost a lot of birds in that thing. None got on the highway. They went the other direction.
Okay.
So, but it was a very hard hit, and we were in the middle of sending birds, baby ostriches, to Brazil at that time, and it destroyed us. So we literally had to dig ourselves out of a hole that created.
How many years ago did that happen?
That was in 2002.
So you're up to, so you have 2,000 birds now, but your numbers were way down as a result of that. I mean, what were you down to? Because I'm surprised when you said 2,000, I thought, wow, I didn't realize there were that many.
I mean, we lost quite a few birds in that,
Yeah.
and some of those birds passed over time because
Yeah.
they had internal injuries and stuff. And then that kind of took the heart out of us, to be honest. It took the heart, and it was a very big financial hit. So for years, we just kind of kept our head down and survived.
Yeah.
But we're back up, but we're good old redneck, hardworking Oklahoma people, and we don't know how to quit. So I don't know if we're stupid or tough, but we're still here, and we're surviving in different ways.
Well, we appreciate you having us here. Brooke, did you have anything? Because you're like chomping at the bit to want to like do stuff, and you can't figure out what you want to do first.
Yeah. Okay. So with the ostriches, when you feed them, do they bite? I don't even know.
Well, here's the good thing. They don't have teeth.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
But they can peck you.
Ooh.
But I
Oh.
will show you how to properly feed them out
Good,
of your
good.
hand. Can't promise you won't get pecked, but you know what? That makes for great stories. Because how many people get to say I got bit by an ostrich,
True.
right?
Yeah.
It's for the plot.
Do people ride them?
Well, you can.
Yeah.
They run about 35 to 40 miles an hour. They
Oh.
can maintain that speed for 30 to 40 minutes. They have an amazing cardio system. Their brain is smaller than their eyeball, so they're not real smart. And then they can kill you with one kick. So if you want to ride them, that's kind of your
You're
own
taking your
fault.
life into your hands, it sounds like. And how long do they live?
About 70 years.
70 years. Oh, my gosh. Okay. All right. Well, guys, if anybody is looking for a pet ostrich, I guess, I don't know, then come and talk to Diana, and she'll point you in the right direction. Not that she'll want to part with any of these beautiful birds from here, but maybe she can direct you somewhere else or for psychological help. I don't know. But it's a lot of responsibility. So anyway. Diana with Rooster Cogburn Ranch, we're going to be out here all morning. They're here open every day. Their summer hours are 8 to 2. And then come winter time, your hours change too, or fall?
Yeah, once we start November the 16th, we're open 7 days a week from 9 to 5.
9 to 5. Yep. Okay. All right. Wonderful. Well, Diana, thank you so much, and we'll circle back with you a little bit later on. We'll want to shoot some videos, put some stuff up on social media, and maybe get a chance to chat with you a little more. So thanks so much.
Got it. You guys have a great show.
All right. Okay, that was Diana with Rooster Cogburn. Her family owns the Ostrich Ranch here at Picacho Peak. So, Brooke, you got to be jazzed for today's show.
Oh, yeah. I am super excited, especially because there's a lot more animals than I figured.
I know, different,
Not just
huh?
ostriches.
I got when she said stingrays, I thought of Steve Irwin. I got a little nervous, but I think they're safe. But we'll find out.
Yeah, I think they took the stingers out.
Okay, good. All right. Being a competitive diver and spending time in the ocean, do you ever get afraid of stuff like that?
Oh yeah, especially being from Southern California, just when you walk in to the ocean, you shuffle your feet. Just there's probably going to be stingrays around there, so don't just walk. You have to shuffle, and that kind of I think scares them away. I don't really know what the reason for is, and definitely scared of those.
What about jellyfish?
I have never seen jellyfish where I live, but my sister was stung once in the Bahamas.
Okay.
But
wow.
Not where I live. So.
Okay. All right. Well, guys, we're out at Picacho Peak all morning, 8 to 10. It's going to be a great show. Amazing content from our talented broadcast journalists. And it's Brooke and I out here at Rooster Cogburn, the Ostrich Ranch here at Picacho Peak. It's easy to get to, whether you're coming from Phoenix or Tucson. It's right off of I-10. You can't miss it. You just look for the big weird-shaped mountain called Picacho Peak. There is a prison down the road, so don't pick up any hitchhikers. It's way down the road. It's not exactly around the corner. But anyway, that being said, be careful. And next up, what do we have coming up next?
Yeah, we have O'Connor High girls basketball coach Charles Wilson talking about their amazing showing at last week's Section 7 tournament.
Awesome. Well, there you have it, guys. Stick around. Amazing show. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad, and everybody else listening. We'll be back after the break here on the Varsity Sports Show. Go Varsity.
Gottlieb Show, Monday through Friday, 1 to 3 p.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060.
Hey, this is John Linton with the I Have a Name Project and Let's Be Better Humans. You're listening to the Varsity Sports Show.
Training Better Athletes was founded by renowned football coach Ron Sowers with the philosophy of training well-rounded young people in mind and body. TBA is the go-to for middle schoolers through the pros. Coach Sowers has worked with all sports but specializes in football offensive and defensive line skills training. Whether it's one-on-one or group training, reach out to Coach Sowers at trainingbeterathletes.com or call him at 602-435-9064. You can't cheat the grind. Hey, local businesses, join the Varsity Sports Show and promote your business on our weekly radio show and game live streams. We have several options to promote your business affordably and reach our incredible audience. Call, text, or email us anytime if you'd like more information on joining our team. The Varsity Sports Show will work hard to promote your business through our audio and video platforms while also promoting all of our young people. 480-779-9437 or email us at varsitysportshow.com. The Varsity Sports Show and Angry Crab Shack Tempe are proud to bring you the Varsity Sports Show Big Man of the Week. Join us every Saturday morning through August as we spotlight an offensive or defensive lineman that your coaches nominate. We will feature photos or video highlights on our social media and have your lineman join us live on Saturday morning's Varsity Sports Radio Show between 8 and 10 a.m. Coaches, reach out on Instagram or Twitter with your nomination. Brought to you by Angry Crab Shack Tempe and the Varsity Sports Show, AM 1060, KDUS, Arizona.
Bringing you the latest sports topics weekly right here on KDUS AM 1060 with me, the Doug Gottlieb Show, 1 to 3 p.m.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Austin Hepolo of Varsity Sports, and today I am joined by Sandra Day O'Connor, girls basketball head coach Charles Wilson. Coach Wilson, how are you doing today, man?
I'm great. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. So last weekend, you guys had a pretty big weekend. You entered the Section 7 tournament over, I think, 100 teams, and you guys actually won out. You won the Mayo Clinic bracket in the Section 7 tournament, and you were only one of the 4 AZ teams in the entire tournament to win a bracket. So what did this bracket victory mean to you and your team?
You know what? It meant a lot. It's tough to put a lot of stock into it just because this summer, we got our girls coming back. We had a few returners. We lost some big pieces, and we gained a lot too. We were coming back young. So just to kind of get a feel of where we were chemistry-wise, as far as our culture, we're in the process of kind of shifting that. And a lot of girls just buying in. To me, it meant a lot. It just shows a lot of what we've been doing as far as a staff and as a program, what we've been preaching to our girls definitely has been kind of taking notice. It's been sticking. Girls are buying in. They're more consistently in the gym. And it's a lot of things that have been turning. The wheels are starting to spin. So some of the players that are seeing it, even from our JV to our freshmen, to how good they really can be if they buy into what we've been preaching.
Yeah, no doubt. You mentioned, it's a little difficult with, summer break happening and all these things going in and out. How would you describe the experience of coaching a team in a tournament like this?
Oh, man, you know what? I'm a club coach too, so it just takes me right back to that atmosphere of you can't really prepare. You just got to go out there and just go. Stick to what you've been doing, your principles. We've been preaching a lot of discipline, playing off 2 feet, playing off a transition. A lot of the things we've been doing is defending, rebounding, and running. So that's kind of been what we've been preaching all summer long, and the girls kind of bought into it. So no matter who we played, I think the only scout we were able to really do was Birmingham. That was the first one where we had some time to really watch film and break down personnel stuff. But other than that, yeah, we just went out there and just played and just kind of threw our tenacity defensively out there from the beginning on every team that we had. And the girls, again, just kind of showed up every single possession, every single game. So it was fun.
You mentioned things like discipline and tenacity. Would that be your coaching philosophy, or do you have something a little more detailed than that?
No, yeah, that's it. Discipline. That's our physicality. Our mindset is to defend. And that's what we've been hanging our hat on since I've gotten here. We want to make sure that all of our levels can defend, and we groom them to just learn how to play defense and then have that physicality, that mindset of, hey, we're going to go out there, we're going to make mistakes, but just being able to get it back, hey, things are going to happen. We know how it goes. We turn the ball over, we miss shots, but as long as we can hang our hat on, being disciplined, the effort, the focus, all of those things, those intangibles, it all pays off and it all comes back around in a full circle.
You coached your first year at Sandra Day O'Connor last year. You guys had a pretty good year. You went 18-8. Unfortunately, we ended up losing a very close playoff game to Gilbert. Yeah, I'm sorry to remind you that. But I wanted to ask you, what are your expectations for the team heading into this season?
Oh, you know what? Like I said in the beginning, a lot of it, my expectations was really just getting that culture shifted a little bit. I felt like as a staff and as a head coach, I felt short with the girls in regards to like really prioritizing those things off the court rather than on. Like, I was really paying attention to a lot of the film, the X's and O's, the analytics instead of like the chemistry part off the court. So I felt like I did them a disservice as a coach of focusing on those things. So as soon as literally, I would say probably a week after that game that you mentioned, we got into the room. We did a lot of team building stuff. We broke it all the way down. There was a lot of tears and a lot of things that were said. Like, girls were just really, really pouring it out, and they let me know how they felt. They let the teammates know how they felt. And I think just being able to now give and take that constructive criticism on and off the court really is going to pay dividends. So, I mean, just that alone is really, really what we've been focusing on. And then the X's and O's stuff will take care of itself as we go. We know what we're doing there, but off the court has really been the main focus.
You guys seem to have a very impressive bond, especially with you only heading into your second year of coaching at this school, really. What makes the game of basketball so great in your opinion, and why do you enjoy coaching it?
Oh man, I can go for hours. Honestly, man, just being able to compete every day. But I would say the biggest thing is just being able to change lives. And as corny and crazy and simple as it sounds, it's really something that I gravitate towards all day long. My grandmother said, she's like, "You're going to be a teacher." And I said, "Absolutely not," before she passed away. And then lo and behold, here we are. Like, I'm a coach, and then I also teach special needs, life skills at the school at O'Connor. And it's just been something that I've gravitated. However, I wake up every day. How can I help somebody? How can I figure out a way? And it's literally from sun up to sundown, 7 a.m. to almost 9 p.m. I'm giving everything that I possibly can, whether it's a recruitment thing or a kid in our class, in our special needs class, that's learning how to read. Like, I'm just giving and giving and giving. I think that's the best part. That's the fulfilling part when I see that those girls or one of our students are able to take that next level and that bump up somewhere. I'm like, yes, that's it. That's the fulfillment part. So I could do that all day long and be able to sleep at night.
Yeah, you say it's corny, but I really do think it's amazing, man. You really are changing lives out here, man. Like, I think high school is a very pivotal part, in growing these students and coaching. They're here as much as parents are. Once again, this is Austin Hepolo of Varsity Sports speaking with Sandra Day O'Connor girls basketball head coach Charles Wilson. And again, Charles, thank you for your time, man. And again, good luck for the season and congratulations on the win.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Yep, thank you.
Good morning. This is Kelsey Reggette with the Varsity Sports Show. Today I'm discussing the rebuild of the Houston Rockets. After 3 consecutive seasons of being one of the worst teams in the NBA, the Houston Rockets are entering what their owner, Tillman Fertitta, has labeled as Phase 2 of the rebuild, which they hope will yield a postseason berth. The Houston Rockets' recent hire of former Boston Celtics head coach Ime Udoka inspires confidence that the team will be more competitive. For Udoka to be successful, the Houston Rockets need to add star-level talent. Due to this urgent need to add better talent to the roster, the Houston Rockets have reportedly been in trade talks with the New Orleans Pelicans regarding the availability of Zion Williamson. For those tuning in, I'm Kelsey Reggette with the Varsity Sports Show, discussing the Houston Rockets and the rebuilding of the organization. Prior to Thursday night's draft, the Pelicans were hoping to move into the top 3 picks by trading Zion Williamson in their 14th pick in hopes of landing Scoot Henderson, who was believed to be a definite top 3 pick. Once reports surfaced regarding New Orleans' willingness to trade Zion Williamson, the Houston Rockets expressed interest in acquiring the 22-year-old Williamson to help the Rockets become more competitive. However, the Rockets faced a challenge in getting the Pelicans' interest in the 4th pick, as Scoot Henderson would have likely been selected already. For this reason, a trade between the Rockets and Pelicans was unlikely. This is Kelsey Reggette with the Varsity Sports Show. Thank you for spending your Saturday morning with us.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show, AM 1060, KDUS, Arizona. Vincent Brook out at the Rooster Cogburn Ostrich Ranch at Picacho Peak, just north of Tucson. Very easy to get to, really easy to get to. It's right off the 10 freeway, and literally less than an hour south of Chandler and just minutes north. How long did it take you to get here from Tucson?
40 minutes. But
40. Okay. There you go.
Not too far.
Yeah, not too bad. We just had a chance during these segments, and we posted them up on our social media on Twitter at Varsity Show. So if you go over to our Twitter at Varsity Show, we took some video outside. We actually got a chance to kiss some of the goats out there.
Oh, gosh. Face to face with those goats. Pretty terrifying.
Yeah, well, you put a little bit of food in your mouth. They came up and took it. It was pretty cool. It was funny. Anyway, Dana is been more than accommodating. We got it. We went over, looked at the stingrays, and you actually put your hand in the water and ran your hand over.
Yeah,
How did it
slippery.
feel? Slippery?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. They live about 15, 20 years. She said. We saw goats. We saw deer out there. We're gonna obviously we saw Smiley the donkey, so he's out there. She's out there as well as the rest of the crew, and then we'll check out some ostriches here before all is said and done. What an amazing morning, beautiful day. How's your week been going?
Pretty good. I've been really grinding hard with practice because I'm going home for the next month, so I wanted to be ready for the new coaching system.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been really good. The heat is rising.
What are you just going home for the 4th and then coming back at the end of next week, or?
No, I'm going to actually go for all of July. I just decided randomly. My coach is going to, I'm pretty sure it's the World Cup, the Aquatics World Cup, the whole month. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to California instead of stay in Tucson. So.
Nice. Well, you'll have to do some reporting from home if you have time, aside from, doing everything else that you have going on in your training regimen. But yeah, that would be great. It'd be a lot of fun. Speaking of which, we have correspondence spread all over the place. We have we're very lucky here at the Varsity Sports Show in that, Brooke, you're a Southern California native. You'll be going back to Orange County very soon for the whole month of July. And then, of course, we have Kenji Ito, who is in Orange County. He's in Costa Mesa, who's doing a Southern California report. He's got a couple of reports for us today on Chapman University and then a local high school out of Costa Mesa and some good things going on there. We have Kelsey Reguette, who is our correspondent in Houston, Texas Southern University, who will be providing some reports today. She had one on the Houston Rockets and then another on Rockets All-Star James Harden. I think he still plays for the Rockets. I'm not sure. He's an ASU guy. But anyway, these guys jump around so much, and I admittedly haven't done my best in following some of the NBA action outside of the Phoenix Suns. But anyway, so some good stuff coming up. Austin Hopola, who's a local product, who's doing reporting for us, and then, of course, Brendan Sodell as well. So good stuff today from our crew. We got some exciting things coming up the rest of the morning. We are out at Rooster Cogburn Ostrich Ranch, and we'll be here all morning. I wanted to ask you about your interview. Who do we have coming up?
Yeah, so we have Michelle Mitchell. She is a 2-time Olympian and then also a diver and a coach at the University of Arizona.
Wow. Now, is she still competitively diving?
No, but she went over to Mission Viejo Nadadores, coaching there after, and now she is the executive director of the whole entire swim and dive, the Nadadores.
Wow. Now, once you stop competitively diving, do you still do it for fun? That's what I'm curious about, because there's demands on your body. It's not like, and not to take anything away from golf, but these guys that go on the senior tour that are 70 that are still playing, you don't see people diving at age 70.
No, there's a few people that do. It's very rare, but some people who can make it work, they make it work.
Wow.
There are a few. I remember a 91-year-old was diving, but that is very, very rare.
91?
Yeah.
What kind of diving?
It's very basic, but, it's crazy to see at that age.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, so once again, guys, don't go anywhere. When we come back from the break, we've got a live interview with Michelle Mitchell.
Right.
Who is from where?
University of Arizona, Southern California, everywhere.
Everywhere, and she is a director now of the school.
No, the Mission Viejo Nadadores. The whole club. The
whole diving club. So awesome. And we'll talk to her, and we will be right back after the break here on the Varsity Sports Show. Guys, once again, Rooster Cogburn, Ostrich Ranch at Picacho Peak. We'll be here all morning. Don't go anywhere. Go Varsity.
Your morning drive just got a little better. The Dan Patrick Show is live weekday morning starting at 6 exclusively on KDUS AM 1060.
Hello, sports fans. This is Dick Stockton, and you are listening to Arizona's home of youth, high school, college, and you, the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060, KDUS, Arizona.
The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe, with an experience so good it remains indescribable, with something for every seafood lover. Try one of their amazing custom seafood boils, sandwiches, appetizers, and salads. Angry Crab Shack Tempe is located east of I-10 on Warner Road, 480-674-3847. The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. Come ready to eat.
What's up, everybody? My name is Austin Hepola, and I am a senior attending the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism at Arizona State University. This summer, you will get a hands-on experience from me right here on Varsity Sports Show. My goal is to showcase the amazing sports communities scattered throughout the entire valley. As an Arizona native myself, I plan to give these communities the proper light they deserve. I look forward to delivering the most authentic and genuine stories for you all these next few months. Until next time, take it easy.
Hey Phoenix, Doug Gottlieb here. I'm bringing the best sports talk weekdays to you, 1 to 3 p.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060.
Welcome back. My name is Brooke Early, here with the two-time Olympian, diver, and coach at the University of Arizona, Michelle Mitchell. Michelle, how are you doing this morning?
Hi, Brooke. Thanks for having me on. Great to hear your voice again.
Yeah, for sure. You are. I know my co-host doesn't know this, but she's basically like my second mom. So this is a very fun interview for me.
Hopefully we'll have some other stories aside from just diving then, if that's the case.
Yeah, I hate to say I've known Brooke since she was in diapers, but it's a true story. I've known her parents since they were in diapers, if that tells you how old I am.
Right, yes. She knew them, and now she's closer to me. Hopefully, I would say closer to me.
I would
say. Anyways, Michelle, going to the Olympics is obviously a huge deal. What was your mindset during the first Olympics, and did that mindset change during your second Olympics?
Well, my first Olympics was in 1984, and I was dubbed the unknown from Tucson, Arizona. That's the way the commentators referenced me. I kind of came out of nowhere for that Olympic Games. But the fondest memory of both games, and to answer your question, is that my mindset was what fun it was for my parents and my family to be a part of it all. And I was honestly very grateful. And I figured, I was at the Olympic Games, and if I got dead last at the Olympic Games, I was still an Olympian. So I didn't actually, I know this sounds crazy, but I had no pressure on me. I was the unknown from Arizona, and I was just really happy to be there. So I really just tried to absorb the moment and just, have a ball. And I did, I have to say.
That's so funny. I feel like normally so many people put so much pressure on themselves, especially at these bigger meets, and the fact that you had no pressure is actually absurd.
Well, it's mindset is everything. I mean, if you talk to any athlete, they'll tell you that. And, you can call it being in the zone, or there's a lot of other psychological terms these days. But, yeah, it's all perspective. And I guess that perspective worked for me. It may not have worked for another athlete, but it worked for me.
Right. Well, you've been in the sport for so much of your life. What made you go into the sport initially?
Well, I had been coaching since I was about 16. I went to college. I was very young. And for whatever reason, I wanted to coach and make some extra money. And it was a lot of fun, and I think that was the piece that kind of kept me in the sport, was being able to use diving as a vehicle to work with kids. I had a secondary education degree from the University of Arizona. I had a lot of teachers in my family, And so I guess it was, I was genetically disposed to become a teacher, and I just used diving as the vehicle as opposed to being in a classroom setting.
Yeah, I would say you did a really good job with it.
Oh, well, thanks.
So you said you got another degree and everything. So what made you stay in the sport, and did you ever consider changing your profession?
I had a lot of different opportunities along the way, and for various reasons, I didn't take them. At one point in my career, I was offered an opportunity to work for ABC Sports in their contracting department out of New York City, but, being from Arizona, New York just didn't seem like my cup of tea, so I turned that down. I had some opportunities to do some financial investing and go in that direction, kind of the, private equity stuff, and didn't want to go in that direction because it seemed a little too boring. So I don't know, maybe I stayed in coaching by default, or I don't look at it that way. I kind of think I stayed in coaching because I was a pretty good coach and I enjoyed working with kids. So, they say if you're working in your passion, you never work a day in your life, and that's kind of how I feel.
Right. And you say you like coaching kids, but I know you also coached college. So what do you think is the biggest difference between coaching each of them?
That's an interesting question. There's not a huge difference. I would say the problems are different and the influence you have is different. When you're coaching a 12-year-old or a 13-year-old, the beautiful part is, as a coach, you hand them back to their parents at night, and you can, tattle to their parents, if you will. So the kids are usually pretty well behaved because they're worried about the wrath at home. College coaching is different because the problems are different. You have no control of, athletes at 2 o'clock in the morning that make bad decisions, but you're still kind of like the first responder when something happens. So, it's similar problems. It's similar learning lessons and teaching moments. It's just, college is an elevated teaching moment. I guess that's the best way to put it. But I enjoyed working with both, both age groups. So.
Right. Yeah, I know, especially from my experience with my college coach and then also having you as my juniors coach, I can definitely see a little bit of the difference, but you're right. He is the first person I go to if there's an issue going on, so I understand what you mean.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
It's amazing to see a woman accomplish everything you have done in your life. Super inspiring. What would you say is the biggest advice to little girls aspiring to be just like you?
That's a great question. I would just say give everything you have every day, and remember that education is king. And, diving or sports largely is a part of your life. It's not your entire life. It's not a barometer of your character or the type of person you are. It's an activity. And to make sure along the way to get your education, because no one can take your education away from you, but there will be a day in any sport that you quit competing, and then you have to look yourself in the mirror and support yourself and, move on with your life one way or another. So that's what I would say.
Agreed.
Yep, I think I've told you
For
that
sure.
too.
Well, thank you for that advice. Michelle, I know you have a big event going on at the Mission Viejo Nadadores at the end of the July. Would you like to speak about that for a second?
Sure. The Matadors are hosting the 2023 USA Diving Tier Junior National Championships. It's the first time that we have hosted it since 2007 here in California, and the last time it was hosted west of Texas was when I hosted it in 2010 at Hillenbrand Aquatic Center in Tucson. So we're really excited to welcome the country over to the West Coast and put on a great event for all the top kids in the country.
Yeah, for sure.
I have a quick question, Michelle. I have a friend. He's a middle-aged guy. He's a little chubby guy, and he's interested in taking up diving. And he's not very active. What advice would you give him? He's a friend. What advice would you give him?
Well, we actually have what's called a master's program, which is recreational diving for adults, and you don't have to have any kind of skill set per se.
Okay.
what advice I would give them is come to the pool. You'll get a great workout. You'll be surprised how sore you are the next day, and you'll find out how hard the sport really is.
Yeah, that's a non-starter for me. I mean, for my friend. But anyway, so, all right. Thank you so
Well,
much.
thank you, Michelle. I'm here with Michelle Mitchell, a two-time Olympian, coach and diver. My name is Brooke Early, and thank you for listening.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kenji Ito with the Varsity Sports Show. I am here with local high school new band director at Costa Mesa High School in Southern California, Zaid Batarse. Zaid, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good myself, actually. So my first question for you is, obviously, you've been doing music for a long time. So what made you want to become a band director?
Now, that's a great question. It started in high school because I did marching band for like 5 years because we did 8th through 12th, as you know. And it was something I thought was an escape, but I eventually ended up falling in love with.
Next question is kind of, what was your initial reaction when you got the position at Costa Mesa after recently graduating with your master's degree?
That was a special moment to me. I was student teaching there for the full year, and I was trying to get that position because I knew our band director was retiring. And I was going through the whole process, and I just started, doubting myself. Things weren't going the right way. So I was like, I don't think I'm going to get this position. And then I got a call for an interview, and then like 2 weeks later, I get this message saying, congratulations, they've submitted a letter. So I received my letter of intent. I turned to our band director or my mentor teacher at the time, and I just showed her the phone, and then she started crying. She started tearing up, and it was such an emotional moment because that's where my journey was started.
Yeah, and obviously you've built a great relationship with Miss Gilbo and all the students there. But Miss Gilbo, like you mentioned, she was a great teacher at the high school. She officially retired after 33 years of teaching band. So how much has she supported you and meant to you throughout your journey of playing in the band and to where you are now?
It's rare to have a teacher for 2 years, let alone the same teacher for 6 years. Actually, yeah, 6 years, because it's a middle school, high school combined. So 7th, 8th, 9th through 12th, we had the same music teacher, instrumental teacher. And, someone that you work with for that long as a student, you build that relationship with that teacher, obviously. And she was my motivation to, as many of the former music educators I had, were an inspiration to get into music education.
And that actually follows up to my last question I have for you is, how do you plan on to continue the legacy of Mrs. Gilbo and kind of create your own pathway like she did many years ago?
Right. Now that's a tough question for me right now. Because how do you touch a program that someone has built up and maintained and continuously grew for 32 years? And I just want to do the same. I don't want anything to die away, and just continuously give the students an opportunity to share their gifts with the community. I think that's so important.
Thank you so much for your time, Zaid. You just heard from Zaid Batarse, and I'm Kenji Ito from the Varsity Sports Show, and I'm signing off.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show, AM 1060, KDUS, Arizona. Vince DeLisio and Brooke Early out at the Rooster Cogburn Ostrich Ranch in Picacho, Arizona. Very easy to get to from wherever you're coming from. It's right off of Interstate 10, just north of Tucson, maybe 20 miles, and south of Phoenix, south of Chandler, maybe about an hour's drive. It's real simple to get here. And it's been a great show so far. Dana, whose family has owned this ranch for 3 generations, took us around. There's a labor of love. We got to meet the goats. We got to kiss the goats. and not doing that again, but it still was interesting, Brooke. We had fun.
Yeah. It was something.
Yeah, and we met Smiley, the donkey. There's a bunch more out there waiting for us to go up and hand them some food, and then we'll have a chance to see the ostriches here in just a bit. But come on out, guys. We'll be here all morning, and their summer hours, they're open till 2 o'clock every day of the year. Coming up next, after the break, our very own Connor Ackerley has a two-part interview with local media personality Just Chili, and in his talking about his flight club from this past week here on the Varsity Sports Show. Stick around after the break. Connor will be back with Just Chili.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings from 6 to 9 a.m.
This is just something I like to call breakfast.
With big name guests, timely sports information, and more on KDUS AM 1060.
Hi, this is the Director of Community Engagement for Hospice of the Valley, Lynn Sue Cooney, and you are just not cool if you are not listening to the Varsity Sports Show, the home of youth, high school, college, and you on AM 1060 KDUS, Arizona.
Hey, local businesses, join the Varsity Sports Show and promote your business on our weekly radio show and game live streams. We have several options to promote your business affordably and reach our incredible audience. Call, text, or email us anytime if you'd like more information on joining our team. The Varsity Sports Show will work hard to promote your business through our audio and video platforms while also promoting all of our young people. 480-779-9437 or email us at varsitysportshow.com. Coaches, the Varsity Sports Show wants to be part of your team in 2023. We have a proven track record of providing the most coverage of your teams with Thursday and Friday night football. We will spotlight your players with multi-camera game broadcasts, pre- and post-game interviews, and segments on our Saturday morning radio show. With over 100 games broadcast in 2022, we will be exceptional for your team. Call, text, or email 480-220-4629 or info@varsitysportshow.com.
What's up, listeners? My name's Brooke Early, and I'm proud to be your newest summer intern for the Varsity Sports Show. As a diver on the University of Arizona team, I truly understand the ins and outs of the sports world. As someone who has lived in this community for the past few years, I'm super interested in reporting from within. I'm super excited to be a part of this team, and I hope you all enjoy this summer's content. I know I will.
KDUS AM 1060 is the home to the Dan Patrick Show, the Doug Gottlieb Show, and Sports Map Radio. Catch all the sports content here on AM 1060.
Hi, I'm Connor Ackerley with the Varsity Sports Show, here today with Arizona high school football reporter, Just Chili. How you doing, Just Chili?
What's going on, man? How are you doing, Connor? I'm good. Just a long weekend and back to the grind.
Yes, sir. There it is. So, last weekend you had the Just Chili Flight Club in its, what it would be now, third year?
Third year for most, right? But, I mean, you and I both know that it's the actual fourth year.
So, me, myself, and Corona were part of kind of the first little flight club that was in 2020. So I just want people to know what are the origins of Flight Club? Like, what's the backstory of it?
Man, I mean, Connor, you know better than anybody. Like, a lot of the kids were trying to look for competition. They were struggling to, find ways to, get out and be seen and compete. And I tried to create that opportunity. I tried to use my platform to make sure that, everybody gets stay mentally healthy, because that pandemic was a trying time for a lot of student athletes.
Yeah. So, when it first started, it was only like 8 or 9 teams when the first year was going on during COVID. Now you guys had upwards of 30 teams this year, and you had a play-in tournament.
Yeah.
So,
it was great.
Yeah. What does it kind of mean to you that you're able to grow the high school football world like this and grow it into this big tournament that everyone looks forward to?
Yeah, you know what? I talked to like Ralph Amsden and stuff, my partner over there at Arizona Varsity, and there's really nowhere else in the country that has anything quite like Flight Club, where it's a 7-on-7 big man competition with that many high school football teams. And, you know, it's just been great to have the community embrace it. To be able to get 32 high school football teams out there, like that's a task in its own. So we don't have California size where we have like 2,200 high schools. So, you know, it's difficult to get 32 high school teams out there competing with NAU, San Diego State, and some of the other colleges.
I'm Connor Ackley with the Varsity Sports Show. For the second part of my interview with Just Chili, stay tuned for the rest of the Varsity Sports Show to see it in the second hour.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show, AM 1060, KDUS, Arizona, and our very own Connor Ackerley, who is spending his summer interning with us and as a member of our broadcast team, presenting a nice interview there with local media personality Just Chili, who is running a 7-on-7, or who ran a 7-on-7 tournament. It started a couple of years ago, and it's grown. It's called Flight Club. And some good turnouts, some really good turnouts, and ironically, the teams that have competed and won this thing end up having a good showing during the regular season. It used to be 7-on-7 football was just kind of an afterthought and a way to stay active if you weren't playing other sports, and it's turned into a thing. It's a big thing, and particularly in Arizona with with our weather and being what it is, but. It's very competitive, and it gives teams a chance to work on their timing, their passing game, and whatnot. But anyway, good stuff. And you'll hear the second half of that interview during the second hour of our show this morning. Nice work, Connor. Brooke, we were talking off mic here about summer and summer activities.
Right.
What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, okay, you're in Tucson or regular Arizona, and the heat is rising. This week it's going to get to 110.
Yeah.
And I'm telling myself, what do I do just be active other than my sport? I go to my sport, I come home, I take
Do you get bored swimming?
Well, not really, because it's not really swimming. It's like you get out of the pool and you go and do a dive. That's why it's much different. But, yeah, I feel like, what do I do? All I do is nap all summer because I have nothing else to do.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I hear pickleball is huge. We play some spike ball and volleyball. But what else is there to do in
What's
this heat?
spike ball? What is that?
Okay, so there's a net in the middle, and there's 4 people, 2 on each side.
Okay.
And you basically –
So it's like on a volleyball court, right?
No, it's like a little net it's like a little trampoline net in a circle.
Oh.
And you you hit the ball on the net, and it bounces back up to the next team, and you have to just keep it going.
Oh, okay. So you're spiking spike ball.
Yes.
You're spiking the ball into what is essentially a trampoline, like a small one of those small round things, trampolines, and you're standing outside of it.
Right. Yeah.
And then whoever it bounces to has to hit it.
Yeah.
And okay, all right.
Yeah. It's on TV now. There are big competitions for this.
It's a competitive. Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't think I could ever get to that, but
wow.
It's way more. I have a fun time playing for a little bit and then watching my teammates do it. But.
So we're talking about summer activities with school out and no sports in season. It gets into it's a grind with practice and having to continue practicing.
Right.
So what else do you do? You said you nap. I mean, socially, when you go back home,
there you go. Back home,
you're gonna see a lot of friends. You're gonna what are some things you're gonna? Do people go to the movies anymore?
It depends if there's a movie out. That's good. But yeah, in Tucson, it's just like I'm not going out there in 109 degrees. But yeah, back home in Southern California, we'll go to the beach. We love to go line dancing. That's a fun thing.
Line
to do.
dancing?
Yes.
Wow.
Unfortunately, I'm not old enough for the line dancing here, but there's one back home that 18-year-olds can get into.
What kind of music do they? Is that like country music?
It's country,
stuff?
yeah.
Okay.
And then there's some pop songs that they do some dances too. But it's so much fun with your friends. You never think it was going to be that fun, but you go in and it's a blast. I love it.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite hangout at when you are home at like near the beach at the pier? Like where do you go?
I would say there's this beach called Crescent Beach at Laguna Beach. Love it. It's
Okay.
beautiful. Probably the most beautiful beaches there.
Yeah.
But a lot of people like that, unfortunately, so it's normally very crowded.
Okay. Wow. All right. So our very own Brendan Sodell is going to is presenting a report on the Phoenix Suns and what's going on with the Suns. Go ahead.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show, everyone. I'm your host, Brendan Sodell, back again with a report on the Phoenix Suns. There is even more breaking news this week involving the Phoenix Suns, and this news could even be bigger than the coaching news from a couple weeks ago. After rumors spread about the Suns potentially waiving their point guard Chris Paul, a couple weeks went by, and now they have a trade. The Phoenix Suns sent their point guard Chris Paul, backup shooting guard Landry Shamet, and 2 second-round picks to Washington for their all-star Bradley Beal. There are still numerous questions involving the deal, and how can someone like Bradley Beal fit into a team with Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, 3 players that need the ball in their hands to do what they do best? The Suns also only have 2 other players under contract for the time being besides those 3, being DeAndre Ayton and Cameron Payne. And with the addition of Beal, Booker, Beal, and Kevin Durant are now making upwards of $130 million together. The Suns don't have a lot of room to maneuver in free agency, but they will for sure be one of the top destinations with 3 of the best players in the NBA on their team. Contracts will be tough to work out, and if they go over the luxury tax with the new CBA, they will lose their mid-level exception, something that many championship teams have used to get that extra veteran help. Matt Ishbia seems all in on building a championship team since he took over the Suns in February, making 2 of the biggest trades in the decade in such a short amount of time. The Suns will need to find as much depth as possible in free agency and try and retain as many of their pieces as they can from last season, such as Terrence Ross, Torrey Craig, and Josh Okogie. Beal may play very similarly to Booker, but this, I think, is a very good deal for the Phoenix Suns. Just last week, Phoenix was in talks to release Chris Paul and buy out his contract for nothing. And since the Washington Wizards gave Bradley Beal a no-trade clause on his most recent contract, he was virtually able to decide where he wanted to be traded if he was. There were ongoing talks with the Miami Heat, who just recently lost in the NBA Finals, to attain Bradley Beal. But after those talks fell through, the Suns were able to get Beal for Chris Paul, Landry Shamet, and multiple second-round picks and future pick swaps. Even if Booker and Beal play very similarly, I feel this is a very good deal for the Suns, as they almost got nothing for Chris Paul, and now they're able to turn that into a near all-star player. There are still a lot of question marks surrounding the deal and what the team will look like next season after the draft and free agency, but on paper they have 3 of the best scorers in the NBA, and Matt Ishbia seems determined to build a winning team as soon as possible. Thank you again to everyone for taking your time to listen to the Varsity Sports Show. I am Brendan Sodell, and I will see you all next week.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show, AM 1060, KDUS, Arizona. Vince DeLisio and Brooke Early out at Picacho Peak, the Rooster Cogburn Ostrich Ranch. You've driven past it a bunch of times. We're actually here. It is a place, and it's an amazing place once you get back here and you see exactly what there is to do. There's a lot of it is indoors, so you're not like killing yourself outside. But even the stuff that's outdoors is pretty cool. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff out there. There's donkeys, deer, goats. You can kiss the goats. Not literally kiss the goats, but you can put some food in your mouth and they'll come and grab it from you, and it's interesting. And then of course the reason why we're all here, the ostriches. There's over 2,000 here. There's stingrays inside. And you've got an amazing family that runs this place, led by Dana, a third-generation Oklahoman owning this ranch, and a lot of great people are starting to wander through. So, Brooke, what's coming up in hour number 2? We still have a whole other half of the show to go.
Right, yeah. So when we return for hour number 2, Maricopa Mustangs junior college defensive end Dylan Brown joins us as this week's Varsity Sports Show Angry Crab Shack Tempe TBA Big Man of the Week. Come back to the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060 KDUS. Go Varsity.
Thank you for listening to the Varsity Sports Show, where our mission is to empower education and enable dreams, creating an unmatched platform to showcase talent both in front of and behind the microphone in radio, television, podcast, and live streaming. The Varsity Sports Show, still your home for youth, high school, college, and you in Arizona and beyond.
Broadcasting from the Superbook Sports Studios, KDUS AM 1060 Tempe, Phoenix, and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale, Phoenix.
The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe, with an experience so good it remains indescribable, with something for every seafood lover. Try one of their amazing custom seafood boils, sandwiches, appetizers, and salads. Angry Crab Shack Tempe is located east of I-10 on Warner Road, 480-674-3847. The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. Come ready to eat. In 2019, the JV Sports Show podcast began with the idea of spotlighting young people in our community. In time, that podcast evolved into radio, television, and live stream, and through that evolution, new ideas have enhanced delivery, giving a stage to students both in front of and behind the microphone in Arizona and beyond. Thank you for supporting the Varsity Sports Show, now the Varsity Media Foundation, a 501c3 educational organization. The Varsity Sports Show is once again proud to partner with Grand Canyon University Club Sports in 2023 and 24. Join us in our coverage of GCU Club Sports on Saturday's Varsity Sports Show and the rest of the week. We'll cover hockey, soccer, baseball, rugby, lacrosse, and more. The Lopes are back on the Varsity Sports Show.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe, Phoenix, and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale, Phoenix.
This program is paid for by the Varsity Media Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit educational organization, and its partners.
You're listening to the Varsity Sports Show, home of Arizona's youth, high school, college sports, and you, empowering education and enabling dreams, right here on KDUS AM 1060 in Arizona. And now, welcome to the Varsity Sports Show.
It's time for the Varsity Sports Show Big Man of the Week. Brought to you by the Angry Crab Shack Tempe.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona. Hour number 2 with Brooke Early and Vince DeLisio out here at the Rooster Cogburn Ostrich Ranch in Picacho, Arizona, between Tucson and Phoenix, a little closer to Tucson. You can't miss it, folks. There's a big mountain called Picacho Peak, and we are literally right at the foothills. Beautiful property, amazing spread, a lot of beautiful animals and a caring staff, and a lot of great people have been shuffling through here. So we started this a couple of weeks ago. We wanted to honor, because of all this stuff going on with 7-on-7 and the skill players getting a lot of attention, we wanted to honor linemen. We wanted to honor offensive, defensive linemen. So every week we are working with our partners, the Angry Crab Shack in Tempe and Training Better Athletes, Coach Ron Sowers, in honoring the Big Man of the Week. And joining us on the line is this week's Big Man of the Week, Dylan Brown with the Maricopa Mustangs of the Hohokam Junior College Athletic Conference. Dylan, how are you, sir?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. It's thanks and welcome to the Varsity Sports Show. You know, it's a pretty prestigious honor. How does it feel to be named this week's Varsity Sports Show TBA Angry Crab Shack Big Man of the Week?
I feel honored.
Yeah. It's and it takes the criteria to get this honor is pretty stringent. You can't just be nominated by mom, dad, Uncle Joe, your boss at work, your cousin. This is an honor that comes from your coaches. Your coaches nominate you, and your coaches, Coach Doug Medoski, Coach Stephen Weiss, really pushed for you to be this week's Big Man of the Week. What's it like you grew up in Phoenix, attended Cactus Shadows High School, and now play for the Maricopa Mustangs. What's it like being in the HJCAC and playing for these guys?
Honestly, it's amazing. I love them. They're like my family. They're amazing coaches, and they're going to help me get where I want to get. And I love them. I'd be happier to be where I am.
Right, Dylan. So I'm a college athlete, and I know that recruiting just started for upcoming juniors. Have you started talking to any college coaches yet?
No, I have not as of yet.
Yeah, it's a grueling process. I know it's it's fun, but it's tough. Some advice would be just if you get offered a trip, just take it. Even if you weren't that interested. I wasn't that interested in the school I go to now. Took a trip and I loved it. Yeah.
Okay.
And once you take a trip and you see, that's just my advice. Just go and have fun with the trips.
So, Dylan, in case you didn't know, my co-host today, who's a member of our broadcast team this summer, Brooke Early, she's a diver at the University of Arizona. So she's a D1 athlete, and she's from Southern California. And so she went through this process like you are just now dipping your toe into as well, obviously. And I know that you had gone through this also in high school and are now doing this again. So what are some things, and I'll ask this to Brooke, that maybe she can offer up this advice. Brooke, what are some things that you would do differently, knowing what you know now, having gone through the process, maybe that you didn't know when you were being recruited?
I feel like because of just everyone that I had around me, I had a good idea. But I feel like just get to know the team, but also notice that when you're on these trips, they're putting on the best face forward. So it's not always going to be like that. Don't expect it to always be like that. But, really try and see the depth of these people. And if it's who you like, then perfect.
Yeah. What do you like about playing defensive end, Dylan? Because you do it pretty well.
Honestly, I love it, but hopefully at the next level they move me to a different position just because I'm not the best for that position once I get to the next level, so we'll see what happens. I can play anything on the field except quarterback, so we'll see what happens.
Do you feel like your calling is to play on defense or offense? Because I know you were a pretty good tight end, I think, in high school too, right?
Yeah. Honestly, gosh, I don't like to toot my own horn, but I can play either side. I don't care. I love the sport. I love the sport. I'll play either side.
Okay.
It's okay. Right. Toot your own horn. It's good.
Yeah. Do you have a preference? Do you want to stay close to home? You still have another season coming up with the Mustangs, right? So you got to get through this season, but at the same time, you've also got to kind of keep an eye out for potential opportunities and what are your thoughts and talking to your family? Hey, I want to go to Alaska, or I want to go to I want to stay home or whatever. Have you given that any thought?
Honestly, staying home would obviously be great. Close to the family, so I can just stay here kind of. But honestly, anywhere I'd be grateful. I'd be so grateful for the opportunity. So yeah.
Right. I feel like, yes, it's very fun to go across the country, but also staying home. You can visit home anytime you like, which is always a blessing.
What's it like playing for the Maricopa Mustangs? You already spoke of the bond that you have with Coach Weiss, Coach Medoski. These guys are mentors to you. They're like, even second dads. They really look out for you. Your teammates, what kind of bond do you have with those guys?
Oh, I love those dudes. They're amazing.
Yeah.
They're just like me, and I love them. Yeah.
Well, and you guys are literally from all over the country, so it's not like you grew up in the same neighborhood. So there's a lot of diversity too. Are guys real friendly? Do you have a lot in common with them? Starting off with, does it take time to build those relationships?
It's the same way. I'm telling you, that's why I love football players. You always get there, and everybody's trying to be as hard as they can. And trying to be as cool as they can to be like the toughest guy, but then eventually we're all just teddy bears and we just love each other. So yeah, it's the same for every football team all around the country. It's just the same way, and I love it.
I would agree. I feel like even college, I feel like the most teddy bear guys are on the football team.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's some way you guys are raised or the sport, but.
All right, the big teddy bear, Dylan Brown, defensive end with the Maricopa Mustangs of the Hohokam Junior College Athletic Conference. Yes, guys, there is junior college football in Arizona. There are 5 amazing teams spread out, 1 in Tucson, 4 in the Valley. If you want to stay close to home and you're not sure of your options out there, give it a shot. It is some really good football, and these guys are getting recruited, placed in amazing programs once their time is done. And Dylan Brown is one of those guys that who's got a bright future ahead of him, and as this week's Big Man of the Week. Dylan, thanks again for joining us here on the Varsity Sports Show. Good luck. We'll be watching you this season.
Hey, thank you guys so much.
All right. Who do we have coming up next?
Yeah, so we actually have one of my friends, Maddie Burt, from the swim team.
Okay.
She ended up getting very good, very fast this last year, and ended up at NCAAs, and it was really cool to watch her grow, especially because she was at a certain level, and she thought, this could be my peak, but then she changed groups, and it changed her trajectory of her sport.
Took it to another level. Okay, Aaron, let's hit it.
Hi, my name's Brooke Early from the Varsity Sports Show, here with University of Arizona swimmer Maddie Burt. Maddie, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Good, amazing. You're probably doing better. You're in Florida. I'm in Tucson.
Yes, I'm having a lot of fun in Florida.
That's awesome. Well, Maddie, you were one of 4 girls to go to NCAAs from Arizona this year. How did it feel to be one of the 4?
It felt awesome being able to go to NCAAs and just seeing those results come out of the cutoff line and who made it, and seeing my name right above that line. I was just so happy that all of my hard work this year really paid off, and that I was able to go with 3 other amazing and talented teammates right by my side.
Yeah, I agree. It was really cool to see that you actually made it, because there are a few others that we were thinking maybe, but once you made it, it was really cool just to see your name above there. So
yeah, thank you.
You ended up being one of the best on the team this year. What did you do differently this year that got you to be this good?
So we have 4 different training groups. We have distance, middle distance, sprint, and super sprint. And the past 2 years, I had been in the middle distance group. And this year, I just really wanted to try something new, see what I could do differently that could work better for me. And I ended up moving into the super sprint group. And I just put a lot of my time and focus into that group and working with LJ on the little details, and it just really ended up paying off, and I was able to drop a lot of time and just finally have so much fun again in the sport and with the team.
I agree. It was fun watching you get so good so fast.
Thank you.
So what are some of your goals next year for swimming?
So next year, one of my goals is definitely right now just be able to get back into the water and work my way back up. I ended up having a shoulder injury at the end of the year, and I've been out of the water since then, but I have a plan set for when I come back in August to get in the water and slowly build back up to where I was at. So for next year, I definitely want to reach where I was and then just go beyond that. And I know that I have more left in the tank, and I'm excited to see what I could do next year with it.
For sure. Well, hopefully we see you on the podium at NC's.
Yes, that would be awesome.
Well, thank you for coming on the show. My name is Brooke Early with the Varsity Sports Show, here with Maddie Burt from the Arizona swim team. Thanks for listening and have a great weekend.
Great interview, Brooke. I was getting ready to call you Maddie. Great interview, Brooke. I got to tell you, what you've brought to the show this summer has been beyond expectations, because you're doing something that we've really struggled to do in the past, and that's spotlight active athletes. And I'm talking, obviously high school athletes we bring on the show periodically, frequently, but college athletes have a much different schedule, the rigors of it, and to take time out of your training schedule when you don't want to deal with anybody and to talk to somebody and to do an interview. How's the response been overall?
Honestly, great, especially because I've been talking to a lot of people that aren't in those huge sports like football and basketball. I mean, obviously I would love to talk to them, but
Yeah.
it's cool being in a smaller sport and actually getting recognized. So I think a lot of people are instantly like, yes, tell me exactly what I need to do to get on the show. So
Here's the thing that I don't get though, because the when you're a diver or I don't know if they still do archery at the college level, but different sports, they even did badminton for a time.
Right.
The benefit, the scholarship is the same than if you're out on the basketball court or playing football. I mean, it's the same full scholarship. So
it really depends.
Yeah.
I know our basketball team's really good, so I bet they get a bunch of full rides. But
Yeah.
the swim team, I think we get, only a certain number of full rides, and you have to split it up between the.
So they
a lot
do
of
that
teams
at
have
D1.
that.
Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know. I thought they were full, but that's interesting. So even more of a sacrifice that you have to make when you're playing maybe what they would refer to as non-revenue sports,
Right.
To support yourself. What's coming up after the break?
Yeah, so coming up after the break, our very own Connor Ackerley in the second half of his interview with Just Chili. I'm Brooke Early, and come back to the Varsity Sports Show after the break.
Catch the Doug Gottlieb Show weekdays from 1 to 3 p.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060 and online at KDUS1060.com.
Hi, this is Rob Maggs, Vince's life coach and surfing coach to the Beach Bum Beal. You're listening live to the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060 KDUS.
The Varsity Sports Show and Angry Crab Shack Tempe are proud to bring you the Varsity Sports Show Big Man of the Week. Join us every Saturday morning through August as we spotlight an offensive or defensive lineman that your coaches nominate. We will feature photos or video highlights on our social media and have your lineman join us live on Saturday morning's Varsity Sports Radio Show between 8 and 10 a.m. Coaches, reach out on Instagram or Twitter with your nomination. Brought to you by Angry Crab Shack Tempe and the Varsity Sports Show, AM 1060, KDUS, Arizona. Coaches, the Varsity Sports Show wants to be part of your team in 2023. We have a proven track record of providing the most coverage of your teams with Thursday and Friday night football. We will spotlight your players with multi-camera game broadcasts, pre- and post-game interviews, and segments on our Saturday morning radio show. With over 100 games broadcast in 2022, we will be exceptional for your team. Call, text, or email 480-220-4629 or info@varsitysportshow.com.
Interact with Bob Kemp's poll question on KDUS1060.com. That's KDUS1060.com. And while you're there, check out Bob Kemp's bottom line at KDUS1060.com.
I'm Connor Ackerley with the Varsity Sports Show, here with Arizona High School reporter Just Chili.
Yeah, so you mentioned the big man competition, you mentioned the 7-on-7. So let's talk about this year's flight club. Who were some standout players for you that you kind of got to see?
Man, there was a ton. It was nice to see my guys over there, McClintock, Jackson Knutson, and Kimon Jackson get loose. It was nice seeing Sierra Linda, got an extended look at them with that play-in pool. Kamar Lee, North, another team that was in that play-in pool. They have a kid, RJ, over there that's super talented. And Tollison, I know Tollison's kind of been the darlings, and everybody's wanted to see Chaparral. So getting to see Christian Escobedo, Rico Blasingame, Amisi Juma, and then also over there at Shap, getting to see Marcel Jones and Tristan Armstrong, man. It was great. It was a lot of fun out there. And, I'm always grateful to be able to get the support of the community.
So last year, Basha won the flight club. They won the whole thing.
Yeah.
And they ended up winning the Open.
Yeah, they did.
So Higley won it this year. So is that your official prediction for the year, or do you need more time?
Hey, look, when you win that flight club belt, apparently the biggest target is put on you because now everybody has their expectations. You win flight club, you have a high chance of making it into the Open and winning that, because Saguaro did it. Then obviously Basha did it, and now Higley has done it. Higley's got some of their own challenges that they're going to have to face. One of those being that their quarterback, Luke Calgo, may have to sit 5 games. This is going to be tough. Can their defense get them there? Possibly. And we're going to find out. Maybe that defense can get them 4-1, which would bring Luke back for game 6, and then maybe they can go 5-0. But it's going to be a chore for them. That Flight Club Championship, Open Championship link might pass over to ALA Queen Creek. Who knows? They won the big man competition, and they look really good. And Enoch Watson is an absolute stud flamethrower over there. So we'll see. We'll see how this all works out. But Higley's gonna, be a competitor, and I can't wait to see what Coach Zuby and company do.
All right, Glenn, last question here. What's next for Fight Club? Are you got any big plans here? Or?
Yeah, you know what? I'd like to expand it. I'd like to expand this to 48 teams. I'd like to also include females. I'd like to get some girls involved and have maybe like a 12 or 16 team female bracket so that the girls can showcase their abilities. I've been saying this for a while, almost 2 years now, that, I want to really help put on for girls 7-on-7, girls flag football. And shout out to my guy Rick Zer over there with the Cardinals, who really did that this year. The Cardinals really supported girls flag football 7-on-7 for the high schools, and hopefully I can help them out with that.
Love to hear that. And that was just Chili, Arizona high school football reporter. I'm Connor Ackey with the Varsity Sports Show. For more, listen to the Varsity Sports Show, 8 to 10 a.m. on Saturdays. Thank you, Chili.
Hey, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Austin Hepolo of Varsity Sports, and today I am here to talk about Arizona State football. We're going to recap their 2022 season and also get a little preview of their upcoming 2023 season as well. Last year was a tough one for the Sun Devils, to say the least. They had a record of 3-9, and the product on the field was very indicative of that record. After suffering a brutal early season loss to Eastern Michigan, ASU decided to fire head coach Herm Edwards. Edwards was in the midst of his 5th year as head coach for Arizona State, accumulating a record of 46-26, but never winning more than 8 games in a season. Running backs coach Sean Aguano was elected to serve as intern coach and was given a steep task of steering ASU in a better direction for the rest of 2022. ASU's 2022 season would end with an unfortunate loss to the University of Arizona. The day after that game, Arizona officially hired Oregon offensive coordinator Kenny Dillingham as the next head coach of their football program. For those tuning in, my name is Austin Hepolo with the Varsity Sports Show, talking all things ASU football. Dillingham is an Arizona native and even graduated from Arizona State in 2012. At only 33 years old, he is expected to bring high energy and stable leadership to the program. ASU was hit hard by the transfer portal last year, which ultimately showed in their 3-9 record. Since Dillingham took over reins as head coach, the Sun Devils have added over 40 new players to their football program, including big-time quarterback prospect Jaden Rashada. We are 7 months in the Kenny Dillingham era, and although there is still a lot of work to do, the Sun Devils appear to be taking a step in the right direction. There is nearly 2 months left until their season opener against Southern Utah on August 31st, and fans are eager to see what the culture and product of ASU football is going to look like. Other opponents on their 2023 schedule include USC, led by Lincoln Riley and Caleb Williams, who just won the Heisman, tough road matchups against Washington, Utah, and UCLA, and an interesting matchup against the Deion Sanders-led Colorado Buffaloes. The 2023 ASU Sun Devils should make for some exciting football. It will be interesting to see what Coach Dillingham can do with this program. I'm Austin Hepolo of Varsity Sports Show, and until next time, take it easy.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona. Vincent Brook out at the Rooster Cogburn Ostrich Ranch in Picacho, Arizona, just north of Tucson, south of Phoenix. It's right off I-10. It's the easiest place to get to. It's so many exhibits. Brooke and I were out. You should have done it. You should have kissed one of the ostriches.
That is a no from me.
No, but we were feeding them. They
Yeah.
took food out of our hands, and I mean, they're interesting birds, to say the least. Dana, and guys, go to our social media on Twitter @Varsity Show. You'll see some video of Brooke having some food taken out of her hand from an ostrich. It is definitely intimidating up close.
Agreed.
Those things are big. We are joined. We actually have a special guest with us sitting here. Young lady, what is your name?
My name is Gabrielle.
Gabrielle? And this is your mom sitting next to you, I'm assuming, right? That's your mom? Okay.
Yeah.
Where are you from? What city are you from, Gabrielle? Where do you live?
I'm from Tucson.
You're from Tucson, and you came here today. Why?
To see the ostriches and all the different animals.
Did you see them?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you having fun?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, it's obvious. Yeah. What's the funnest thing besides sitting here talking to us on the radio about the Rooster Cogburn Ostrich Ranch? What did you like doing the most?
I really liked seeing all the birds and the bunnies.
Okay. Oh, there's bunnies here.
Yeah.
Okay, not just the wild ones running around. Is there an actual pen with bunny? Oh, I got to go see. Your mom's nodding her head. Okay, that we missed that.
Yeah.
We've seen the goats. Did you kiss a goat? Did they take food out of your mouth? How did that feel?
It was cool.
Yeah. Did you see Smiley the donkey over there? There's a donkey named Smiley that smiles.
I don't think so.
No? Okay, you'll have to go back out there and see. Did you pet an ostrich?
No.
Not yet? Okay. What was it like standing next to, because you're not very tall, so those ostriches are pretty big. Like,
yeah.
was that pretty scary or cool, or did they look friendly? Or they say they don't have teeth.
I don't know.
Yeah. How old are you?
I'm 10.
Okay. All right. And coming here today, what made you guys decide to come here of all places today?
Well, last year I went on a field trip here for camp.
Okay.
And we were supposed to go to one of my mom's friend's house.
Okay.
And we stopped here.
Uh-huh.
For fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
And was it Mom's idea or was it your idea? And you said, "Hey, Mom, I want to stop there." We always drive past it.
Well, we don't usually drive past it.
Yeah.
I just told her about it, and it was just we planned it. When we stopped here, and then after this, we're supposed to be going to her friend's house.
Do you know that this young lady sitting next to you, she's a college athlete. She's a member of the diving team. Do you like to dive off the diving board at home? Do you guys have a pool at home, or do you go swimming somewhere?
We have a diving board.
You have a diving board?
I mean, not a diving board. We have a pool.
You have a pool.
Do you dive off the side of it?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
she
that's
dives.
fun. Just become a diver.
Yeah. What kind of dives do you like to do?
Any?
Any? Okay, that's a good answer. Okay. Brooke, do you have any recommendations for diving for this young lady?
Just trust yourself and just go for it. It's very fun. Just, some people are, oh, it's so scary, it's so big. No, just jump and do it. You got to make your body move off the ledge.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us. Tell me your name again and your mom's name.
I'm Gabrielle, and this is my mom, Holly.
Holly. Gabrielle and Holly from Tucson. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Varsity Sports Show. This was included in your entry fee. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, well, it was. Was this the highlight of your day?
Yeah.
Okay, good answer. All right, Gabrielle and Holly, thanks for joining us. Have fun, and it was really nice meeting you. When we come back from the break, we've got a report from our very own Kelsey Reguette in Houston talking about James Harden with the Houston Rockets basketball team. And that's been an interesting element in adding Kelsey to our team because she's going to be presenting all things Texas, talking about Houston. She's a journalism student at Texas Southern University, and she's part of the Varsity Sports Show broadcast team for the summer. Brooke, what's been your highlight so far this morning?
Definitely the kiss from the goat, I think it was. That was super Super interesting. Didn't think I was going to come here and kiss a goat.
Okay. Well, there's plenty more to come. Who knows? We might even kiss a stingray. I don't know. But we'll be back after the break here on the Varsity Sports Show, AM 1060 KDUS, Arizona. We'll be right back.
Extra Point with local and national topics, betting lines, and banter. Weekdays 10 to noon on KDUS AM 1060, KDUS1060.com, and the KDUS 1060 app.
This is Carefree Arizona Mayor John Crane. When I look for political advice, I don't call Vince. But when I need a good laugh to start my weekend, I listen to Varsity Sports Show. Still Arizona's home for youth, high school, college, and you on AM 1060 KDUS.
This is Coach Lucas Ramirez, and you are listening to the home of the Saguaro Sabercats, the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060 KDUS.
The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe, with an experience so good it remains indescribable, with something for every seafood lover. Try one of their amazing custom seafood boils, sandwiches, appetizers, and salads. Angry Crab Shack Tempe is located east of I-10 on Warner Road, 480-674-3847. The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. Come ready to eat.
Hey there, my name is Connor Ackley with the Varsity Sports Show. I am a senior at Corona del Sol High School where I play quarterback. I'm excited to bring you the content you want to hear and see over this summer, whether it be interviews, features, or co-hosting a show. If you want an exclusive look at the high school offseason and how to navigate it, stay tuned for all that and more. It'll be a behind-the-scenes look of the hard work that gets put in the summer to show you what gets put in the fall, winter, and spring. So tune in to the Varsity Sports Show.
Every Monday night, check out Ray Adams as he hosts the Monday Night Golf and Lifestyle Show from 6 to 7 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060.
Hello, friends, and welcome. I'm Kelsey Reggette with the Varsity Sports Show, and today I am here to talk about James Harden and potential off-season trade moves. The NBA season concluded with the Denver Nuggets winning the championship. The off-season is now upon us, which can be either exciting or disappointing for fans, depending on which moves their favorite team makes. For the Houston Rockets, there is a lot of angst and excitement as the team has a league-leading $60 million in salary cap space. The Rockets have been rumored to be interested in a reunion with James Harden, who is set to hit unrestricted free agency. Reports have been circulating regarding James Harden returning to his former team. On surface, this is an opportunity for the Rockets to land a prized free agent and a franchise icon. However, the fan base isn't exactly sold on Harden's return due to the way he departed the team in 2021. For those tuning in, my name is Kelsey Reggette with the Varsity Sports Show, discussing a potential return to Houston for James Harden. Many NBA insiders expected Harden to return to Houston up until recently, as the latest news suggests that James Harden could be staying with the Philadelphia 76ers after all. Literally, this is leaving the Houston Rockets hanging at the altar. Based on reports, the Rockets front office feels as though the talks of a potential return to Houston was used as a ploy by Harden to get the Philadelphia 76ers to meet his contract demands. Per ESPN, Zach Lowe, a return to Houston is not likely for Harden. Without the return of James Harden, the rebuilding Houston Rockets may be forced to explore other options. I'm Kelsey Reggette with the Varsity Sports Show. Thanks for listening and have a great weekend.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show, AM 1060 KDUS, Arizona. Vincent Brook out at the Rooster Cogburn Ostrich Ranch, and third-generation Oklahoma family that runs this ranch, and a labor of love here. I asked them if the ostriches had names, and they said you can't. What'd she say, Dana?
You can't name anything you eat. You might eat.
Yeah, okay. Well, no, she didn't say you might. She said you will definitely eat.
I don't know if they're gonna.
Yeah, I don't know. But there's over 2,000 ostriches here, and a whole mess of donkeys and deer and goats and apparently rabbits we haven't seen yet. And there's a parakeet house. There are stingrays. There's tortoises. We got to go check out the tortoises. I have 2 tortoises at home. I never told you about my tortoise. Yeah, we have Stanley, who's 33, 34 years old, and then we have a young one. We've got an 8-year-old, and his name's Sammy Hagar.
So you just have them your entire life?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. They live to be 80, 100 years old. So
gosh.
And actually Stanley's a domestic. We keep them separated. Stanley's a domestic tortoise, so he's only about, 15 pounds. And then Sammy Hagar is his name. Sammy Hagar is 8 years old, but he's an African tortoise. He's one of the ones that you see at the zoo. He is like 70 pounds. He's big, and he's continuing to grow. So, he eats a lot.
How did you come up with these names?
Well, Stanley was named after an old friend of mine that unfortunately had passed away, but he was an older gentleman and a good friend, cousin by marriage, great guy.
Gotcha.
And then Sammy Hagar, come on. It speaks for itself, It's just
very fun.
that's a given, You got to have a pet named Sammy Hagar. You have to have a family member, It's just an inspiration. But anyway, so the show so far been a great show. We've had a chance during these pre-recorded segments that our talented team has put together. We've been getting up, walking around. Dan has been taking us out, giving us a tour. We had Gabrielle and her mom on a minute ago. The ostriches, that has to have been a highlight for me. Kissing the goats was an adventure in and of itself. They have teeth. Now Dana said that the ostriches don't have teeth, and she was yanking them around and grabbing their beaks and things and telling me to pet them and stop being a pansy and not be scared. But the goats, when you put that pellet in your mouth and it took it from your mouth, they use teeth.
Yeah, the teeth are right in front of your face.
It's teeth. And they don't brush them, but they got these teeth. Anyway, so we'll get a chance. I really want to see the tortoises. Back home, do you see a lot of wildlife? Back home being Southern California,
yeah.
but
It really depends. It's like obviously the ocean, you'll see a lot more.
Yeah.
I don't love hikes because my body doesn't like them.
Yeah.
Like for some reason I just can't go on long hikes. But if you do go on, there's a lot of wildlife. There's actually goats in Laguna Beach.
In the wild?
Yeah, and you could just go up there and they're just walking around on the ridge. It's very funny.
I wonder, that's interesting because they graze all day, so they obviously have stuff to eat on the ground, but how did they get there? Somebody had to have let them loose or and that is interesting. Do you see anything else? If there's goats, there must be mountain lions or...
Yeah, there's definitely mountain lions. I see a post about mountain lions every so often.
Wow.
Yeah, or coyotes, a bunch, that's always posted on the Facebook page saying, keep your dogs away and stuff like that.
Are there bears up there?
No.
Okay.
There's a place called Big Bear. I don't know if you know.
Oh, yeah.
There's definitely bears up there, but not where I live.
Yeah. And so this time of year, it's all about being in the water, and Mount Baldy, north of San Bernardino, they get a lot of snow, but not that there's nothing up there this time of year. It's probably resort lakes and things up there. Have you been up there?
I have not been up there,
because you said Big Bear. I think that's up in that area.
Yeah, I normally am up at Big Bear. My grandpa lives up there, so it's super fun. There's a lot of mountain biking up there.
Okay.
That's what they do. They take the lifts up.
Okay.
And then obviously, the lake, the Big Bear Lake, there's all those sports. That's where I learned how to water ski, except I'm deathly afraid of catfish.
You're afraid of catfish?
Yeah, because I saw one of those TV shows where the guy puts his hand in the swamp and it came out super bloody with the catfish.
Yeah.
Ever since, I do not like being alone in the lake. Will not do it.
Yeah, but this is what you do for a living.
It's terrifying.
Oh. Do you ever think when you're diving into a pool that there could be something in there?
Not a pool, but definitely we'll do cliff jumping, and I'm like, my dad can go first. Stay in the water while I go in.
Okay, all right. Any scares besides what you saw on TV with the guy with the catfish?
No.
Okay. Wow.
That's been it.
That's interesting. All right. Hey, guys, once again, Vincent Brooke out at the Rooster Cogburn Ostrich Ranch doing our show this morning from 8 to 10. And the ranch is open. Their summer hours are 8 to 2. Come on out. It's right off I-10 between Tucson and Phoenix. Look for a mountain called Picacho Peak. You can't miss it. You'll see the signs, and you'll be here, and it's a family-friendly environment. And if you love animals, you can't necessarily, I don't know, I mean, you can call them livestock, I guess, but they are animals, and they are friendly. They're friendly.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if you have food, they come up to you and
they want your food.
They want your food, and they'll let you pet them. And there's even the dog was walking around here, laying down next to us, but she's a cute. Look like a retriever. But anyway, so we'll be out here all morning, guys. Enjoy the show. Thanks again for tuning in. And we've got an amazing Southern California report on Chapman University basketball from our very own Kenji Ito coming right up.
My name is Kenji Ito from the Varsity Sports Show, providing Southern California sports and local stories. With me here today is recent basketball commit for Chapman University, Scott Schultz. How are you doing today, Scott?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, so my first question for you is, what was your initial reaction when you realized that you were able to play at the next level in college?
I was super excited, and honestly, I just felt like a sense of relief because I've been working hard for a long time, and it was really nice to finally see it pay off. But yeah, I'm just very grateful.
Yeah, and that payoff was definitely there because you made a major jump from your junior to senior year. And I'm pretty positive that you made the All Trinity League team, which is probably the toughest league in California. So how did you elevate your game as a basketball player?
I think like a big part of my improvement was just learning how to fill my role my senior year, because when I was a junior, I had a much smaller role. I was more just like only catch and shoot. I had like a very limited selection of shots, but my senior year, I became more of like a primary scorer. I learned how to create my own shot, and it was just a lot of to become comfortable with stuff, I had to dedicate a lot of time in like the mornings. I worked out with my assistant coach, Coach Higgins, and we spent a lot of time before school, after school, just perfecting my shot and, just like expanding my game.
Yeah, and kind of a follow-up question for that. You said you worked with Coach Higgins. Like, what is kind of the relationship you guys have built with each other?
At first coming to Servite, it was a new coaching staff this year or last year, but I didn't know him at all. And then I met him through practice. I really liked him from the start because he was just a good guy, nice guy, but he was just always willing to come in and work. And I'm really, really, really thankful for him.
Yeah. And you obviously played at Servite, probably a prestigious school here in California, and you obviously have to face tough competition. How did facing that tougher competition and being there prepare you for your future?
Yeah, I think the Trinity League definitely prepared me well for college because, there was a lot of very strong, very tall, very skilled players, and it was just every game was a battle. And I think just seeing that I could compete with those players, it kind of showed me that I'll be ready to put up a fight against whoever I had to play in college.
Yeah, and then my last question for you is that, what is the greatest advice you have ever received?
I think the best advice I probably received was probably from that same coach, Coach Higgins. And I was just talking with him after a tough game. I think I had a lot of turnovers and I was really frustrated, but he basically just told me there's something more important than the actual mistakes that I'm making, and that's how I react to them. And just hearing that kind of helped me reset my mindset.
Yeah, and thank you so much for the time, Scott. And I appreciate you doing this interview with me.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You just heard from Scott Schultz, and I'm Kenji Ito from the Varsity Sports Show, and I am signing off.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show, AM 1060 KDUS Arizona, and we are live at Rooster Cogburn Ostrich Ranch in Picacho. As we've been all morning, we've been walking around during our segments and actually seeing and touching and kissing some of the animals. It's been a lot of fun. We've had a great time. Brooke and I are here. And anyway, Brooke, what do we have coming up after the break?
Yeah, so we have our very own intern interviewing Lucas Ramirez, who is a Saguaro High School basketball coach.
Yeah, so Brendan Sodell and with our very own Brendan and a familiar voice on the show, Lucas Ramirez, Coach Ramirez, is lending some time to enlightening us on what he's doing this summer. We'll be back after the break. Go Varsity.
Check out KDUS AM 1060 on 100.7 KSLX HD2. That's right, HD Radio on 100.7 channel number 2.
Coaches, the Varsity Sports Show wants to be part of your team in 2023. We have a proven track record of providing the most coverage of your teams with Thursday and Friday night football. We will spotlight your players with multi-camera game broadcasts, pre- and post-game interviews, and segments on our Saturday morning radio show. With over 100 games broadcast in 2022, we will be exceptional for your team. Call, text, or email 480-220-4629 or info@varsitysportshow.com. In 2019, the JV Sports Show podcast began with the idea of spotlighting young people in our community. In time, that podcast evolved into radio, television, and live stream, and through that evolution, new ideas have enhanced delivery, giving a stage to students both in front of and behind the microphone in Arizona and beyond. Thank you for supporting the Varsity Sports Show, now the Varsity Media Foundation, a 501c3 educational organization.
Hi, my name is Michael Beal from Costa Mesa, California, and I'm the only person other than Vince that got the honor of wearing his high school Letterman jacket. And you're listening to the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060 KDUS, Arizona.
HD Radio is here for KDUS AM 1060. Check out your favorite shows and games on 100.7 KSLX HD2.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show, everyone. I'm here with who I should have had live on air last weekend. That is head coach of Saguaro basketball, Lucas Ramirez. Lucas, how you doing today?
Hey, how you doing, man? Great to be with you.
Yep. So you talked a little bit about the summer programs you have going on at Saguaro right now and the tournaments you guys are playing in. Could you go into that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. We've had a really, really nice summer. We work out 4 days a week, lift 3 days a week. We're on the court 4 days a week. And then we've had our youth camp, which actually ends today. We've had grades K through 8, kindergarten to 8th grade, rocking and rolling. And then we have, obviously, our high school practices, camp, workout, whatever you want to call it. So it's been a really good month of, just getting better and building that community in the gym, if you will, and it's been great. And then obviously our high school teams have been playing in summer league, or summer tournament, excuse me. Our varsity, we played the first weekend over at Central, had a nice weekend, went 5-1. Second weekend, went over to Ottawa University team camp and went 1-2, but it played against great competition, found things we had to get better at. And last weekend, we hosted an event. Played for the title game there, and then actually currently we're in the Section 7 qualifier, and we had a great day yesterday. Went 2-0. This will probably air later on, but to be continued then, I guess. But we're playing here in about an hour to make the big show, if you will. This weekend, the Section 7 D1 live period tournament. Some of the best teams and players in the country. So we have an opportunity to play into it, and that's fantastic for us. And it's a great opportunity. Been a great summer.
Sweet. I hope you guys do good in that. And one other question I got is, when I had first met you, you were pretty much like an assistant coach on the lower levels of high school, and now you're a head coach of one of the better teams in the state. Could you kind of go about how that's gone and how it's been for you being like the head guy of a team this good now?
It is certainly, first off, time flies. It seems like just yesterday, I was over at Horizon, obviously, where you were a student, and a lot of great memories, great times, and great people there. And but yeah, no, a lot changes when you move over a couple inches to the left, and you're sitting on the first chair, if you will. And I mean, there's a lot more that goes into it. I think like anything, it's like any leadership position. Like, you think you're ready for it, and then you get in the position, and you might be prepared, but there's always going to be things thrown at you that, you weren't expecting or you didn't know was a part of it. But, at the end of the day, coaching's coaching. Coaching is teaching. Teaching is coaching. And I've been really fortunate to be at a great school with a great community. Great people there. And that's what we have here, at Saguaro, is just great people. We have great administration. And we've been really, really fortunate. I mean, I'm going into my 4th year, which is crazy to think. Again, time flies. And, we've been fairly successful in the last, 3 years going on 4. We had some bumps in the road last year. There's no question about it. But, overall, it's been a really, really great experience, and just really looking forward to keeping it going.
Sweet. Appreciate the time, Lucas, and I hope to catch back up with you live next time I get back on there. Again, sorry about the technical difficulties, but great having you on today, and I'll speak to you soon.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate you, and look forward to chopping it up soon.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show, AM 1060 KDUS Arizona. Vince DeLisio and Brooke Early out at the Rooster Cogburn Ostrich Ranch in Picacho, Arizona. Picacho Peak. Can't miss it, guys. About an hour south of Chandler and about, you said 40 minutes or so north of Tucson. It is really easy to get to. It's right on I-10. You can't miss it. There's exits are clearly marked. And what an adventure. I mean, this was different than what I was expecting for sure. What were your impressions?
I mean, I definitely knew it was going to be something like this, but the amount of the animals that are here.
Yeah.
She said, 2,000 ostriches? That was absurd. I'd never even figured. I thought maybe
10. Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing. I didn't realize. And then she, of course, told that story. It was in all the news about 20 years ago when a couple of hot air balloons went up in the air and it startled the ostriches and they just took off running and a bunch of them perished. And so it really crippled the ranch and the family that runs it here. But they've come back in a big way, and they've got the big SUV monster truck tours. They haven't run those in a while, but they'll be bringing them back. You see these big green tractors that you can ride. Sometimes you see them from the freeway, and they'll be running those. They're inside the garage right now, guys. You'll see a lot of stuff if you go to our Twitter page at Varsity Show. At Varsity Show. There's videos you see. You can't find this stuff anywhere else. You see Brooke kissing goats. You see taking food out of ostriches, greeting her, saying hello. What did the beak feel like? She said they don't have teeth.
I don't even know. I wasn't even thinking about that. I was like, just get it out of my hand.
Get it out of here. It was a little scary. I have to admit it. For something, because it's unpredictable. You don't know what to expect, and they've got these big eyes coming at you, like staring at you, staring into your soul. But anyway,
she said they could peck, and I was not excited if that were to happen.
Not into the pecking, but and then of course the goats, and they just want to eat the pellets, and she said just put the pellet in your mouth. And what did she say? She said if you take a short pellet, what did she say? They call that a goat French kiss.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, no thank you.
Yeah, but otherwise it was a lot of fun. It's been amazing, and we're going to wrap the show in a few minutes. And there's some other things that I really want to see. I really want to see the tortoises and get out there and play with those guys. It's not like you could play fetch with them, but they'll come to you if you've got some food in your hand. Brooke, thank you so much for doing this. It's been a lot of fun. The last time we co-hosted, we were at the Marana Pool.
Right.
This time we're out here, and from here, you're still going to be joining us throughout the summer, but you're not going to be in Arizona.
No, I'm going back to Southern California for a month, and then I come back here for a few days and off to Europe. I go to Sweden.
Wow. Now, what's going on in Sweden?
The boyfriend's there.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
The guy. Yes.
This is my first solo trip overseas.
Wow. Now, and he's a member of the U of A tennis team.
Right.
Okay. All right. You got to be excited about that. So, I mean, the trip itself, like, what are you flying into? What, like Phoenix to London?
So I'm actually going from Tucson. Thank goodness.
Tucson. Okay.
That's super easy. And then I go into, I think, New York.
Okay.
And then go over to Stockholm. But then on the way back, I get to stop in Paris for a few hours. Don't know how many hours that I get to go and roam around, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, at least you'll see the airport.
Yeah.
So and you're obviously all situated with your travel, your passport and all that.
The passport hasn't come in yet. I had to renew it, and I did it. I have time. It's supposed to come the start of July, but hoping it makes it in time.
Is it easy because you're going home now, and your coaches aren't going to be hounding you every day? And I know you're an adult, but you're still, going to go back and see your friends. Is it easy to get complacent and kind of fall out of training?
It definitely is easy to, but I feel like if you love the sport enough, it's not like an issue to go to practice. You know, a lot of people aren't really into their sport; they just do it to get into college, and that's what makes it so hard. But if you are in love with the sport and you genuinely enjoy it, it's not hard to get there.
What's your typical day here, training-wise, off season, and then when you go home, what's it going to be like? Like, what's going to be the difference?
Yeah, so here we have, a morning practice at 7 to 8:30, and then we come back 2 hours later for another 2-hour practice, and then right after we have an hour of weights. So it's just bam, bam, bam. But when we get home, you're going into a club, so they're not really for college. So they accommodate us. We're there for 2 hours in the morning, but you got to go do your own weights somewhere else or figure that all out. So it goes from 19 and a half hours of training here, and then I go home and there's only 10 scheduled hours. So you got to figure out your own time, go to the gym, find some classes. I don't know. I'm going to figure it out.
So how do they track this stuff? Like, do you have to keep a log? Is it the honor system? I mean,
it really depends. Like, so off season, you have to send in a compliance form just to make sure, you're not going over those 8 hours that you have to do it for 8 hours, but you can't go over unless it's voluntary. So, yeah, I mean, you have to put in some logs, but it's,
So, actually, and Dana from Rooster Cogburn just joined us. I got to ask you, Dana, first of all, the name. So who's Rooster and who's Cogburn?
Okay, so the name Rooster Cogburn, John Wayne made it famous from the movie True Grit.
Oh.
And then they made a movie called Rooster Cogburn off of that movie. But those movies were based on a real federal marshal from Fort Smith, Arkansas. And he is in our family tree, so he's like my great uncle. So we're the real Cogburns.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that was exciting. And thank you. So I wanted to thank you. I know you ran over here because we wanted to get you on in the final minutes. Tell people again the hours and what they can expect to see in the span of. We literally have 1 minute.
Okay. Well, so we're open summer hours. We're open Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Think about a weekend sandwich.
Okay. A weekend sandwich.
And we open at 8 a.m.
Okay.
And we close at 2 o'clock. So, but we stop admissions at 1:30 just because of the heat. We don't want people passing out on us out there.
Yeah, no, we don't.
So, and then during the winter time, we're open 7 days a week, 9 to 5. But summertime is a little different. And this is just a place where everyone gets to come be a kid.
Okay.
And, their life's got enough stresses, and this is a great place to forget it. And it doesn't matter if you're 2 or 102. Everybody gets to have fun here.
Thank you so much, Dana. Out at Picacho Peak. all parts of the state. You can get here. It's easy off I-10 between Phoenix and Tucson. Thank you so much again, Dana. Brooke, take us out.
Yeah, thank you to our summer broadcast team, including Kelsey Raguette from the Texas Southern University, Connor Ackerley from Corona del Sol High School, Brendan Sodell, Austin Hepola, Kenji Ito from Arizona State University Cronkite School of Mass Communications. Thank you to our guests. Please be sure to check out all of our archive content on Twitter at Varsity Show, as well as Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Thank you to our producer, Aaron Decker. And join us back here on Saturday at 8 a.m. on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona, the Varsity Sports Show. My name is Brooke Early from the University of Arizona, and thank you for coming on to our show.
Go Varsity! Thank you for listening to the Varsity Sports Show, where our mission is to empower education and enable dreams, creating an unmatched platform to showcase talent both in front of and behind the microphone in radio, television, podcast, and live streaming. The Varsity Sports Show, still your home for youth, high school, college, and you in Arizona and beyond.